Why do they do this to us? Kyun? uh, Another match reaction with the 2 a.m. crew who's back again, unlike the last week. But yeah, Namrata, I don't have the power to say anything because it was too stressful and I am drained out. So why don't you start? Why don't
I
you
think we were
welcome
very, very
everyone?
lucky. I think we were very, very lucky. Like in the last 2, 3 games, we've not played well at all, and we've still managed to win the FA Cup semi-final. We managed to like beat Brighton. The last game against Arsenal again, we weren't good, and today I think we it was the worst performance out of the last 3 games. But like Millie Turner. Uh, like I'm so happy for her because she's made some errors in the past few games, but like winning it, Fergie time, last minute goal, amazing. And I think I was saying that before to you as well, and I said that during the last match reaction that if we will struggle against Villa, and we did do that. But I think now that we've won the match, we should be going for the league. Like Man City, just I think like even if we lose to Man City, I think top three is in the bag. If we win rest of the games, so like just win against Man City and hope Arsenal beat Chelsea. So and then we win the fucking league. Oh, sorry, I interrupted it.
No, it's okay. PG-13. But Namrata, I don't know. You scared so many of us by saying Villa will thump us, Villa will do this, Villa will do
I
that, and I was like, okay, fine. What can they do that we can't tackle? But after that first half, I was like, damn, Namrata was actually right. How have we not, not how have we not scored? How have we conceded so much? And we'll get to that. But Millie Turner coming on, I was a bit skeptical as to why he was making that substitution too late into the game when we needed a winner. But Mark Skinner's substitution somehow works every time. Not every time, but somehow work. So
I think when Millie Turner was subbed on, I just knew that he knows the rest of the things are not working. The midfield, like we just weren't able to score, and everything else that we were trying. Obviously, we didn't try to change the midfield, which we could have tried much earlier. But like you sub in Millie Turner, you're looking for like a repeat of Arsenal, right? So you're looking for a last minute free kick, which we got, and Millie Turner like getting her huge head in and scoring a goal. So I think that part was actually pretty good from Mark Skinner. I mean, I have to credit him that. I don't think the rest of the subs were really that great, but a win is a win, and at this point in time, if we're lucky, I hope like we just need 4 more games of luck.
I think it's like obviously we've got the talent, we've got the synergy, we've got the cohesion.
Energy.
I'm, yeah. I knew you were coming to that, but yeah, I was actually taking inspiration from
The
Mark
red
to
wave.
come up with these words. But I don't know. It's clicking right now. I know we didn't play that well, but somehow we are getting the win, and we are seeing Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans say you've got to give it to United how lucky they've been. I'm fine with it. You can call it luck, but at the end of the day, I think we've got the squad. Obviously, it can be better, but still, I'd say, like you mentioned, go for the league now. Villa was going to be a tricky game, but it's about the league now, and we've got Spurs. I think in the next game,
Yeah, yeah,
and
and
after
we'll
that, I
see for the
think
first time a different midfield in the league. So I'm so
yeah.
excited for the match.
Yeah, and I think it'll be basically an audition for everyone before the FA Cup final. That will be,
I don't,
yeah, obviously we know what the squad will be, but still, let's
I
just
don't
call
think
it an
there's going to be an
audition.
audition. It's
Yeah,
just going. There is going to be no audition.
but I'll walk you through those final minutes. I was I was like on the verge of smashing my laptop, and I was like, okay, I'll not do the match reaction because it was so frustrating to see how we were struggling against this Villa side. Obviously, there was no Hansen, so I was like, yeah, they won't be able to score one goal, but somehow. Rachel Daly scored a brace. Obviously, there were errors, but towards the end of the game, I was like, please, 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 somehow get this win, because even a draw would have felt like it was a loss, basically, because so much was on the line. And then he subs in Millie Turner, and I was like, why would you do that? Midfield changes. We made three forward changes. Let's make four forward changes. And then after a few minutes, he subs in Vilde Boris, and I was like, typical of him to sub in Vilde Borisa in the dying minutes of the game, in the last 2 3 minutes. But it was actually Vilde Borisa who won the
Free kick.
foul. Yeah, free kick. Even if
And
you might say that it wasn't a foul,
it wasn't a
but
foul, and she
yeah.
totally milked it, and I loved it. Like she just fell down to the ground and she did not get up. Like
And
I think,
did
yeah,
you like? Did Katie Zellem take the free kick?
yeah, she took. I think
Yeah.
it was a good free kick,
I
and
Every time in those dying minutes, if Katie Zellem is taking a corner or a free kick, it feels like okay, something will happen. So when that foul was given, I was like, "Is there a chance?" Then I was like, "No, Atanu, don't be optimistic. You've been optimistic throughout this game. Nothing is going to happen. If something is going to happen, it will be that Villa score somehow." But
uh, I
it's
think
it's
free
Fergie time.
kicks.
Yeah, go on, go on, go on.
I think free kicks in the last minute, I'm pretty sure they practice like at the end of every training session this, ever since the Arsenal game or maybe just before that. But I think good game management from Wildeborisa as well. You know, she came in for 3 minutes. I think, you know, obviously, I think people will have different opinions that this should not be a part of women's game. But, you know, I think once in a while when the stakes are so high, I don't really mind that. And, you know, and it's not a free kick, but you know it's not, it's like a 50-50, right? So, and we had a goal disallowed.
Yeah,
uh
exactly.
like Villa did, like uh like the crossbar saved us twice, so obviously there was a lot of luck involved from our end as well. But you know, I think sometimes when you are in this kind of a run in the league, uh, and when when you know maybe you're not playing well or anything, you need luck on your side. And like, yeah,
I
man,
think
I was
Ramu is messaging straight from the ground. I feel absolute limbs here, and obviously, like it would have been so surreal to see Millie Turner score the goal. I think the players celebrated the goal with the
yeah.
fans as well, in front of the fans, and one of our uh, favorite international Reds is actually there, Voso Army today. So,
Yeah,
uh, like she's a big fan of Dali, so she got to see United win and Dali score a brace. So I know she'll be happy.
Vijayana still
But
dominant.
yeah, uh, okay. So now that we are entering the last 2 minutes of the first 10 minutes, let's just talk about those Millie Turner win, like, and then we'll get to the most important part, which is why did we struggle so much. So in the last two, I think only 1 minute is left till we reach the 10 minute mark. But I think the celebration in all, it was surreal, and it was one of those moments which reminded me of that Kirsty Hansen equalizer against City, back
Yeah,
when Tobin Heath was playing for us. And it also reminded me of that Russo goal at Emirates. It was so similar. But your last views about this, Namrata, when we move on to the analytical part.
I think for me, so I watched the Champions League matches. So last week we saw Barcelona versus Chelsea at Camp Nou, and you know obviously they won the semi-final, and the way the team was celebrating with all the fans there, and I was just thinking, when is it going to be our turn? Like, you know, I think the Barcelona fans were really fantastic. Like they chanted for the team all game, and you know, just seeing the team kind of celebrate with the fans. Uh, and then today, after Millie Turner's goal, when you know they all kind of went towards the fan and they were they were jumping up and down and celebrating with them. So obviously, it's not as big a stage as a Champions League semi-final at Camp Nou, but you know it is our moment. It is something that is important to us, and I definitely think that you know this is probably the moment where we get Champions League qualification for sure. And if luck goes our way, even more than it has today, then you know maybe even a league title.
why maybe even we leave the league title. I'd say just bring the title home now,
because
because
it's not dependent on us, right? So yeah.
but obviously, from our end, like we can't control the Chelsea games. Even if we do not end up winning the title and we end up winning all the games in hand, I think I'd be really proud of the team, because under this pressure from the fans' side, and obviously now players have also started acknowledging that yes, we are in a title race and it is exciting. Obviously, nerves are high, but they are embracing the challenge. They are embracing the title race challenge, and I know, like, we might like fall short of it. I know that maybe there is a chance that we might fall short of it, but still, if we manage to win our remaining games, I'd be really happy with the team. And obviously, we all know where we should be. Improving. Basically, those nil-nil draws, that draw against City, uh, one of those games against Chelsea that we lost. So obviously, there are things that we can improve on. But at the same time, from my side, if we win the remaining games, uh, obviously, I won't say that would be a big trophy, because we will end up losing the trophy in that scenario. But I'd be really happy. So what do you think about this?
No, I think obviously if we I think if we win rest of the games, we're definitely coming second. So second and a league title is a second, and an FA Cup final is great. If we somehow don't get a result versus City, we might, maybe we'll finish third. uh, like right now I don't really see us finishing outside top four. We have games against City, Spurs and Liverpool, so I think we have enough quality to win out of the three for sure, and that would be enough to get Champions League. uh, Against City again, like if we don't win against City, even if we come third, it's not something that I think it will be anticlimactic, because we've talked about being top of the league throughout the year. So, uh, I mean, it would be something that I would be fine with, because as I said, I just want us to get into Champions League, get that psychological barrier out of the way. So I'd be fine. I think obviously the best case result is doing a double, which I think obviously like there's a huge possibility that happens. I don't think we are playing well enough at this point in time. So I haven't followed City in the last few matches, so I'm not sure if we have a good chance or not. Uh, I still think that we will struggle against City. I don't think we'll win. So I'm not very confident of winning the league. But I do think that get get it into top three, get into Champions League. That's enough for me. But what I want from this team is in that FA Cup final, like don't think about all the times that we've played Chelsea and we haven't won. All the big scores that we've lost with. It's a fresh game. It's a one time. Like it's a cup. It's literally a cup final, right? So just go there without any fear, and I want us to be putting fight, taking the fight to Chelsea and get a trophy there. We saw against Barcelona that yes, Chelsea are good. They basically were in the situation which we are against Chelsea, like they were defending for their lives against Barcelona. So obviously they will have that. uh, they will be disappointed for losing that match against Barcelona, and now they have three games in hand, and nobody really knows. Like with three games ahead, they still have to catch up, right? They still have to win all of those three games. So uh, again, we don't know what can happen. The only thing we can do is we win our games. So based on the performances, I'm not sure if we will win against City, but I think it should be good enough for top three.
Yeah, I do agree that I don't know, uh, I'm trying to be optimistic about the City game, but at the same time, I know that our performances haven't been up to the mark. Obviously, the euphoria feeling is there right now, so
Yeah.
people might not, uh, you know, properly analyze the game. Obviously, we have won, and that's what matters. But at the end of the day, it's about improving our performances and instilling that fear in the opposition whenever they come out they step out on the pitch to face us. Uh, but yeah, like for the Chelsea game, what I would say, and then we'll move on to today's game. I would say is that form goes out of the window. the team shouldn't think that we've never beaten Chelsea in the league and we've not been able to replicate our performances this season against Chelsea. It's just 90 minutes. Like, I'm trying to shamelessly plug my piece here, but it's just 90 minutes, and you can either take it as an opportunity to showcase how you can finally win a huge silverware for the first team since our promotion, or you can take it as an opportunity to be your better selves. I know there are chances that I personally feel the FA Cup, like, we might win the City game, but there is a chance that we might not win the FA Cup final, considering it's Chelsea. But at the same time, like I mentioned, form goes out of the window, so the team shouldn't think that we haven't beaten Chelsea yet. Uh, but yeah, that's my final points about this.
Yes.
Yeah, would you like to add something? Like
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
saying that we're ending the video, but basically
I think we
we
can
have,
move on to the next
yeah.
piece.
Yeah, we can move on to the next segment, which is basically how today we performed in the first half as well. We saw, like, this is something that Bluppy mentioned on her tweet when the team news came out, and I kind of not did not agree with it because obviously
Yeah.
I like Mannion and the last game that we played was really good, but she knows her stuff. So obviously, she ended up being right because
Hmm.
what Bluppy mentioned was that United will struggle because we don't have tall defenders, and Villa will take advantage of that with crosses and corners, and that's exactly what happened. We saw with Rachel Daly. I don't actually remember. I think one of the goals was a header, and the second goal wasn't a header.
I
But
don't know the second goal because the broadcasting was pretty
yeah,
was
obviously
yeah.
the broadcast was quite bad. But at the same time, I would say is that Bluppy was right because we were aerially so bad defensively, and the most number of aerial duels that was won was by Ella Toon, followed by Russo and Leah Galton. So that really tells you how we won the aerial duels while we were in the build-up and not when we were defending. So that was a major issue. The midfield issue is always there. I think in all of our match reactions, we've mentioned this that the control isn't there. Obviously, we see some good passes here and there, but we only see glimpses of that. We don't see it on a consistent basis, and most of the time it's Maya Letizier who's hoofing the ball and making those long balls, long through balls, or it is Ona Bache, our savior, who makes the build up. So what do you think?
I think that I just think like overall our performance was pretty bad. Uh, not I think the attack like Leah Galton was good. She obviously scored the goal. She dropped back to defend also at times. I think Russo hasn't been on form for a long time. Like she got the goal against Arsenal, uh, but I think in general, maybe she's not really getting the service that she needs, and midfield obviously not good at all. I think both. I think there was a screenshot on Twitter where there were player ratings, and our midfield had like under 7 ratings, all of them. So that kind of just tells you that we struggle to control the game even against a Villa without Kirsty Hansen. Like this is effectively our uh, most strong team, and we struggle in midfield, and I just feel like there is no solution to that, because I think probably that Mark Skinner thinks there is a solution to that, but because of Zelim kind of providing the free kicks in the dying moment, so he doesn't want to like sub her off because those free kicks will be necessary. uh, and because you have to keep Zelem, you also have to keep Lad, right? Because Zelem defensively is not strong enough, and then you're gonna bleed goals, right? If Zelem is the only six, that basically leaves Tooney. And I think today, even though it was in the last 3 minutes, he did sub her out and he got Wilde on. But maybe uh, I think for this season we have somehow survived, but I think going forward, if we're playing Champions League next season, we need to have basically need to have two midfields. The one which will be like we've seen in the start of the season when we had the league and when we had the Conti Cup together, we couldn't manage to basically handle both the competitions together. Next season we're going to have another one, and this one will be, if we get into the qualifiers, it's going to start like 2 weeks after the World Cup. So like straight off the bat, you need to have players ready to kind of perform and get through. Uh, this is something which I have my doubts on. I really hope it doesn't come back to bite us next season. So we have to really, spend in transfer window. But again, based on the performances that we have put right, like I don't know why I'm confident that we will win against Spurs and Liverpool. Maybe because they haven't really played that well. Like those two teams have not played well at all. If it was Leicester, I would probably be a bit more concerned, but like uh, but again, I do think, like I wish I was optimistic, but I think like the City game we're not gonna win, and even though I hope from the team that they bring their A game, but if we're gonna continue with this setup, it's not gonna be pretty in the coming matches.
Yeah, I do agree with them. Regarding the Zelem point, like obviously she brings that free kick and those set pieces quality, but at the same times the negatives outweigh the positives in my opinion. And obviously I'm not trying to diss her, like only diss Zelem out of the squad. Lad also I felt that today wasn't good
Yeah, she
enough.
was good. Yeah,
Yeah, but what I would say is that with Lad, you get that extra defensive credibility, and you get that support whenever you want. I think this season I've mentioned it so many times that Lad is a little higher up the pitch because she's been instructed to do play that role, which creates a lot of issue because Zelem then has to progress the ball herself from the mid defense to the midfield, and she's quite isolated because when you press her, she loses the ball, and a lot of players on our squad aren't press resistant, which is a
yeah.
big issue. And coming to the fact that I think Bala Subramaniam mentioned it. I'll pick out the comment here again. Problem with our midfield is eerily similar to the men's team. Obviously, we've talked about this in previous reactions as well, where I have mentioned the first phase term a lot, and I think Namrata might be fed up of me using that term. But this is a nice term, tempo controller or an elite progressor. And I think all of us absolutely agree with it. The issue is that maybe there is someone on the bench who can play that role. Obviously, I'm just speculating here, but we don't experiment enough. We didn't experiment enough, and now if we do experiment and it doesn't play to our
I
strengths,
don't
I
think.
think it'll
Yeah,
backfire.
I don't think it's the time for experimenting. I think the
Yeah,
time for
correct.
experimenting has long gone. I think
But
right now just stick
even
to
if
what
it's
we know. Yeah.
yeah, even if it's not about the start, like I'll just mention one player. I'm not trying to say here that you start her or why aren't you playing her, but in a general scenario, we signed Cascarino on a loan, but we haven't even played her for more than I think 25 to 30 minutes. So I don't know on what basis did we sign her as somebody who might play if we are hit with an injury crisis, or I don't know what like the aim for the loan signing was. And I think we do have a buy option, and I don't really think we are going to activate that. But it's these little things that really bother me. But overall, yes, we're happy with the win. But these are a few different things that we need to take care of. You can see Tunkara as well. Like, okay, fine. Somebody would say that Cascarino joined in January and she needs more time to adapt to the WSL. But Tunkara has been here since I think August or September. So why hasn't she been integrated into the team in a more bigger way? Obviously, you won't. I'm not saying start Tunkara in one game and then go back to Mannion and then go back to Turner, obviously. But overall, the minutes and how they've been managed, I think a lot of people right now would think that why are we, picking out these small things that bother us? It's that whenever we win these games, uh, all these issues are like are overshadowed by the win basically.
Yeah.
So everybody is too focused on basically the positives. And right now with the performances that we are giving, Namrata mentioned, the City game might be, a tricky game for us again. But obviously, in the next game, we will have to try something different in the midfield. Hopefully that works out, and hopefully we continue to do that, because I think Zelem has gotten her fifth yellow card and she would be suspended for that game.
She'll be
Uh,
suspended for the Spurs game.
yeah, yeah. Spurs game, yes, the next league game. It's obviously a good win. Nobody's going to deny that. Fergie time winner. Who doesn't love that comeback? But you know, a comeback when we were dominant feels extra special. But today we weren't dominant. We we weren't able to instill that fear in Villa when they stepped onto the pitch. It was actually the other way around, because of the way the all of us were a little scared, because it's always Villa that spoil our party. Namrata also mentioned it earlier that Villa always spoil our party. It was last season as well. We drew 0-0, and that was one of the games which derailed our season to an extent, I'd say.
Yeah, I think obviously we have been saying this all season. I think our squad was built for a season where we would see a few injuries, and thankfully those injuries haven't happened, and that is one of the reasons why we haven't really experimented too much. We could have experimented quite a bit in FA Cup, because we've reached the FA Cup final, but I think we've only played one WSL side, and that was in the semi-final. So we could have tried things out, and we did sometimes try things out against the championship teams, but obviously not enough, because I think we tried that in Conti Cup and we got knocked out. So we kind of went with our league team with maybe one or two changes, like Wildeboy Risa played till quarterfinals and so on. But I think we have been quite lucky with when it comes to injuries. So full credit to Skinner and his medical staff for kind of ensuring that players are in good health. But I do think that, again, there's always a luck involved when it comes to injuries, and I think if we were in Arsenal situation, you know, we wouldn't be nowhere near Arsenal where Arsenal are right now, because one, our squad depth isn't as good, and because we don't rotate enough, our bench isn't, they're not match fit. So we got Cascarino, we did not play her. So again, it's a loan. We don't know if we're going to sign her permanently or not. We got Tunkara, used her in Conti Cup, but that was like, I think she started a game in, like, I don't know if she has basically played in 2023. Yeah, I think she
She
hasn't
wasn't
played.
even selected for France.
Yeah, she wasn't selected for France, and I think she captained France at the Euros for one game, or a part of a game or
I think
something.
it was either Euros or it was an international break when she
I
captained the
think,
side.
yeah, I think around the Euros, like, she was captaining. She was in Atletico Madrid. So I think obviously if you're an international player and you're looking at players like Tunkara, you're looking at players like Leon, at Wildeboy Risa, at Cascarino, and I think obviously it would be a legit doubt that, should I, because you don't really know, right? You don't know if you're going to be given enough chances. So I do think if when we get into Champions League, we will be able to attract a lot of bigger name players. If we have new owners, we probably will also have the financial muscle to actually offer them good contracts and even pay the transfer fee if we have to. But I think the fact that we don't rotate enough, it might be a barrier to a lot of people actually willing to sign for United, unless they're like the cream of it's like a top level superstar, and you're going to play no matter what. But if you're like in that middle tier bucket, you might just be a little bit hesitant to sign for United.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But then again, if we do end up signing players, it's up to the management if they are going to play them or not. Obviously,
Yeah.
when we signed Vilde Borisa, obviously we thought, okay, she'd gel up well with Jackie Gronin. When Jackie Gronin left, we were like, Vilde Borisa will pick up the pieces. But obviously, it's our expectations. It's easy for us to speak. Uh, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but then again, people might take away, like, I think some people might take away, like the takeaways from this match reactions for some people might be that we are trying to diss players, we are trying to diss Zelim, we're trying to diss Lad, but it's not about dissing a player, it's about wanting our team to do well. And right now, like we've mentioned, if we do continue these performances, we need to be ready for a heartbreak. I'm not saying that we lose something. I want us to lose something, but obviously there are issues, and like I mentioned, they will be overshadowed by this win today. And it was necessary to point out the mistakes because we all know how much we struggled. Like aerially we were so bad. Mariops wasn't able to save that first corner, and I think a lot of I saw not a lot of people but a few tweets saying that Mariops should have saved that. She got an athletic interview today, so why didn't she save that? And I think that was a really good cross from Villa, and that was a really good goal from Dali. So obviously, in that situation, because she was actually wide, like if she was making the dive here, the ball went right there. So there was a lot of issues, but obviously we got the win.
I'll just
Yeah.
say one thing, right? You look at the 90 minutes that we played. Now take Ona Bhatia out of it because next season more or less she won't be there. And imagine we're not winning this. You take Ona Bhatia out of the last 3 or 5 matches that we have played. We're not getting to the FA Cup final. We wouldn't be in the top three race. And if you think that one player is so important to the how to the way you play, and you're approaching a summer transfer window, and her contract isn't sorted yet, so just keep that in mind for next season for Champions League, because I think Onabate is that kind of player. If she's not there, it's not just the defense which is going to struggle. Our entire attack is basically going to be useless. And, like our midfield anyway is non existent, but whatever chances we actually create come from Ona's wing. So if you don't have a player like her, it's going to be a massive, massive issue. So, I think it's players like Ona, it's players like Russo, players like Millie Turner, who's players like Rachel Williams, who've scored these last minute winners, and they've papered over the crack of the kind of performances that we have put in. But luck runs out at some point in time. We've been quite lucky this season, and I hope we just need, like, as I said, we just need 4 more matches of luck. But uh, next season, you again don't know if the same thing is going to happen. So uh, yeah, I just think that, right, like, you imagine this game, or you imagine the last 2 3 months without Onabate, and yeah, I don't think I have to explain anything more than that.
Oh, yeah. On that note, I totally forgot that we failed to do our ONA prop. So thanks for reminding, Namrata. Uh, assist again today, 9 assists. Joint top assist maker in the league this season, alongside Guru. And overall, I'd say she, like I've mentioned in the tweets as well today on OOUC, that she is the like the best attacking outlet in this team right now. You give her the ball, you
Yeah.
don't give any player, like you don't have any other player for support, and she'll go from one end to another on her own. She'll dribble the ball, she'll put in a good cross for the forwards inside the box, and it's just amazing. And I think in the last 4 or 5 games, like you've mentioned, she's been absolutely phenomenal. Like today she got an assist, then against West Ham as well she got an assist, against Leicester she got an assist. So overall, even if she's not gotten an assist, she's put up so like some good numbers statistically as well. And for people who like to focus on eye test, she's been absolutely phenomenal if you look at it. And obviously the motto is pay Ona what she deserves. And I don't know if John Murto and Polly Bancroft are actually listening, but please ensure that and like you have to ensure you extend Russo, you extend Ona, and not at the expense of other signings, but because these are the players who are the core of the team right now. These are the players you should build your team around. And I don't know what's going to happen, but uh, don't, like, for the fans who are watching this, don't take us too seriously. It's easy for us to talk, and obviously we were trying to be as impartial as we can. So embrace the win. Obviously it's a Fergie time winner, and obviously the negatives, like no team will perform perfectly, there will always be some issues, but what we are trying to say is that we should, focus on the issues as well, and not just make it about how we are playing so well, we are winning. It's not just about that, there are issues, as it is with every team. But embrace the win, embrace the Millie Turner winner. And before we wrap up, let's just enjoy a Millie Turner chant, a good old Millie Turner chant.
Super! 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 Super Millie Turner! Super! 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 Super Millie Turner!
I think she loves scoring headers. Like I remember that game against Spurs where she scored a goal in 2020, 2021. She scored a header against Arsenal as well at the Emirates and today as well. And what a way. You are an academy graduate. I think she played alongside Zalem in the academy, and Zalem
Yeah.
actually gave her the assist for that winner. So it's funny how life turns out. Uh, I think a good game in terms of the result, but in terms of the performances, we need to do better. But at the same time, like I mentioned, please embrace the win. Don't let our impartial analysis affect your takeaways from the game. Obviously, you've
I
got your
think I
opinions.
will I will just say that I was not. I have never tried to be impartial. It is only Atanu who tries to be
No,
impartial.
no, no, no.
I'm
I
highly,
think,
highly
I
biased,
think,
and I am
let's
very
let's
biased, highly critical of the team, and yeah,
yeah, if let's not try to act humble here.
it's
Both
not.
of us were impartial just for conversation's sake, but I think we missed out on so many comments, but time is running out, guys. I'm sorry. We did like look at the comments. There were a few good ones as well, but I don't know. Sorry, we weren't able to portray it on the screen. But thank you so much for your support. A good win in terms of performance, in terms of result. Uh, a few more games. Manifest Chelsea dropping out. This is a ritual right now. We manifest for Chelsea to drop out. But yes, let's see what happens. And thank you for the support. We are quite near to 1.5k subscribers, so please, if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Follow us on our Twitter. We are quite close to 3k Twitter followers. I ensure you, we are trying to remove as many bots as we can. These are actual numbers. These are not the bot numbers. And yeah, if you like our content, please drop a like, please drop a comment, and share it with your friends. And for the rivals who are watching, please, your
Hold
tears
the
need to be as salty
Which
as
is
they
L?
can be.
Yes. Which one is L?
L L.
No, this one, right? It's
No,
the
sorry. Yeah. 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 So thank you so much, guys. Namrata, some parting words for your beloved fans.
I think uh, I think good game, guys. Like good result. Sorry, bad game, good result. And I would just like to end this podcast by saying Ona Bate is our defense, midfield, and attack.
And
So
our
please pay
dugout
her.
as well.
So please pay Ona.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. And just like Namrata mentioned, Pay Ona, Wally Bancroft, and John Murto, please do listen to this podcast fully and ensure we improve next season. And UWCL, we are coming for you. Title, I am hopeful. Let's see. FA Cup final as well. We've got one more game in the league before that. So, guys, let's start praying. Let's start manifesting. Thank you so much for your support. Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye.